Welcome to Paranormal Chat with Black Hills Paranormal Investigations. We are your guides into the shadows, chasing ghosts, uncovering secrets, and capturing evidence from the other side. From haunted locations to mind-blowing stories and the gear that lights up the dark, join the team as we dive deep into the unknown. Grab your flashlight, turn up the volume. This is where the real hunt begins.
Welcome back to Paranormal Chat, everybody. Tonight is going to be so very exciting. We're going beyond those high-tech gadgets that we talked about last time. Now we're going to explore divination. Using intuition, ancient ways to investigate, connect with spirits, those types of things. Now, each of us have picked some form of divination to talk about tonight, one that kind of piques our interests. And we're going to share how it works. We're going to maybe share some personal stories, if maybe hopefully they paid off. We'll see. And even if you're a skeptic or a believer, hopefully this one will spark some questions. So without further ado, Mo, let's kick it off with pendulums. It's a great way to answer yes and no questions, detect energies, and in our experience, of course, finding portals.
Portals.
Is great.
Yeah.
Walk us through these pendulum things.
Okay. Well, first of all, pendulums are forever, right? I'm talking ancient Egyptians, Babylonians, Mesopotamians used pendulums. Of course, for the normal things like plumb bobs and stuff, but also for medical stuff, for healing, because they would pass pendulums over a body and it would swing where they thought something was wrong. And once they did that, they started going, hey, maybe we can talk to the gods with this stuff. And so they started trying that stuff. Yes or no, obviously. And it was doing wonderfully for them. Now we're going to jump a little bit to the Renaissance medieval period, right? Cunning folk, wise women, and whatnot used pendulums, right? Because they were going to find water, dowsing rods, like the same thing, and they were going to find treasure and all kinds of stuff. But they also used them to contact spirits and whatnot and find out what's wrong with you. Okay. And that has persisted, especially in Britain and Germany, where they use them, and they still use them to this day. People use them to find water and stuff, but also for healing and stuff. And it just so happens that I have a pendulum with me. I'll show you guys how it works here in a minute. And like Casey said, we've used them to find portals and to verify if what we're seeing are spirits and whatnot. And how this works, like I'm gonna have to. Okay, you guys can see my hand and the pendulum, right? Yeah. Well, see. Okay. Now pendulum, show me a yes. And it's going back and forth, and I'm not moving. Right? Pendulum, show me a no. See, and that it's super cool how they work. And some people think it's ideomotor effect, right? And some people think that you're tapping into your subconscious, and there are some that think that it's a higher power, source, God, whatever you want to call it. I prefer. I think it has to do, at least for me, it has to do with a God or source or whatever, because obviously it wouldn't work for me. Because I'm not religious and whatnot. But something comes through and tells us, yes, we have a spirit, or yes, there's a portal. And I'll use this one to find portals, and it'll spin clockwise if it's an entrance portal, and it'll go counterclockwise if it's an exit portal. I have 11 or 12 of these ding darn things. And this one, this pendulum per se is the most portal oriented, if it makes sense. My other ones, I'll say, is there a portal present? And it'll go yes, but it won't show me where.
Mm.
And there you go around. And where this one, and if it finds one, it'll start spinning. And we've seen that, we've documented that. It's been really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's so neat. Like, it's just so fascinating to me that it works. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, because you think that this stone on a chain wouldn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's just very interesting to watch it actually work.
Right. And then you brought up a good point. Anybody can make one, like a washer on a string.
Mhm.
It doesn't take a rocket science or anything.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a crystal. It doesn't have to be a chain like this one is.
So here's a question. Do you think that the person holding it is a key factor in the process? Like, say if you took a pendulum and put it on a stand or something, so you're not touching it, but you're asking it a question, do you think it would work the same? Or do you think you
No.
need that energy to kind of,
Yeah, you do. You
Okay.
need like a person holding it to do
it's like
their
a
energy.
conduit kind of?
But once again, it might be an ideomotor effect. I don't know. I
Right.
know it works.
That would be a really interesting experiment.
Mm-hmm.
If we had a stand
We do.
and we
have a pendulum on it too.
Ooh.
just
And
did it.
And if you have if you're like the person holding it, it's
Right.
working, and then see if you get the same effect with the non-person holding it. That would be interesting. That's a good.
That's interesting. That'd be a fun experiment to try.
See
Yeah,
what
it would.
Nice. Awesome. I
Okay.
love that. That's so cool.
At my house, we're gonna have a taco bar, beer. Hey, that's all good.
I love it. We love taco bars. Taco bars are
I
great.
know.
Anyway,
We do.
sidetrack. That's a sidetrack. Yeah, pendulums are really awesome. So, and you can, I mean, you can even, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can make them out, with wood at the end. I mean,
Right.
you said washers,
Yeah.
bolts, you know what I mean? Anything to make a.
My mother used to douse with this stuff, and she'd tell her friends are going to have a boy or a girl, and if they're pregnant and whatnot. But she used a needle and thread. That's all.
Oh, interesting.
Or yeah, or they would, somebody take off their wedding ring and hand it to her.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I've heard
interesting.
that
Okay.
before.
And she'd loop it. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. Awesome. So now I'm curious. Can we transition to Oracle cards? Because
Absolutely.
they're fascinating. Now, I have tarot cards and they're different than Oracle cards.
Yes. Yes.
But tell us, a little bit about Oracle cards, because your readings are fantastic, by the way.
Thank you. Oracle cards came about, I would say, early 1700s. Okay. And by the 1750s, I believe, a Madame Lenormand in France, she was a famous psychic. She used cards once in a while to tell people's fortunes. Now, the decks that we know that we can purchase and whatnot didn't come about while she was alive. After she died, German and French people said, "Hey, these cards are cool." So that's how we get to the modern day Oracle cards. Oracle cards are different because tarot cards, as you guys know, are 78. There's 78 cards. There's 4 suits: cups, wands, swords. Oh my gosh.
Pinnacle.
Cups, wands, swords, pentacles. Okay. And then there's 22 of major arcana and a minor arcana. Minor arcana are set up kind of like uh playing cards. Where they differ is uh tarot cards, you look at it and you interpret it and stuff, but it has a set meaning. Oracle cards, they can mean anything to anyone. The person reading is the oracle. They're reading what the cards say. Okay. They're not going off the card like let's say Ace of Cups, right? They're not going to tell you, okay, you got Ace of Cups, it's overflowing, blah blah blah, right? Abundance and all that stuff. They're going to tell you what they see in the oracles. And oracle cards versus tarot cards, oh my gosh, there's 78 cards in a standard tarot deck, right? You can have as many or as little as 10 or 11 oracle cards in a deck, or you can have upwards of 100. It all depends on what you're buying. And oracle cards, at least for me, they're a little bit easier because you more of your intuition is put into these, whereas tarot it isn't. Well, if somebody is experienced a tarot reader, it's going to disagree with me anyway. but like, oh my god, I have like, oh my shit, I have like 10 or 15 of these things, oracle, because they're different, because one might be mermaids, one might be fish, one might be gods, one might be shamans, depending on the deck, and it's up to the user to figure out which one works for them. See, I have decks by a person named Syrian Shadow, which there's skulls and all kinds of bones and all kinds of crazy stuff, but they work for me. And I also have some from Australia, and I have some from right here in the good old US of A with Denise Lynn. And see, and all the cards that I have are all different. They're never the same. Whereas tarot decks, even if you get one, say a moon deck, right? And it's got all kinds of crazy stuff, but in each card will be like, okay, 2 of cups, let's say, right? And it'll have 2 cups on, just like the Rider Waite, just like the original deck for tarot. 2 cups. So they're always the same. They might different pictures, but it's the same stuff. Whereas oracle cards aren't. It's left up to the user to determine those. Because when you buy these, it's just like when you buy the tarot stuff, Casey. You get a little booklet, okay, and it tells you what each card means. Blah blah blah. Throw the book away. Just throw it away. Use your own intuition and let that be your guide. I think that's what makes people better readers.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. That's awesome. So yeah, like you said, no matter what tarot deck you get, the layout of the cards are going to be the exact same. It's just the
Right.
artwork is probably going to be different.
Right.
But there is a set standard for those
Right.
cards. Yeah. Which is, very, very interesting. Yeah. So let's transition now. Let's talk about tarot cards a little bit. This
Okay.
fascinated the hell out of me.
Right.
So cool.
Wait.
What?
You were brought up texting today the game, and it's played with oracle cards. It's called Hope, and the first one that gets to the anchor card, that was a Lenormand deck way back. That's how you determined who won the race.
With the Oracle cards?
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah. Uh, so tarot was also a game, and we'll talk about that in a second.
Yes.
Um, so it's those weird aristocrats, they didn't have anything else on their minds, so they had to come up with these games, right?
Right.
So like you said before, there's 78 cards in the deck. There's the major arcana, and there's the 56 pip cards, or the
Right.
minor
Minor
arcana
arcana.
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so archetypal figures are the major arcana, the emperor, devil, fool, justice, all of those
Right.
things. They also have the astrological elements, the sun, the moon, star. There's the strength, death, all these typical cards. Then you have so normal French cards, playing cards, had the normal suits, which is what we play with. Trump, right? We have spades, clubs, hearts, and diamonds. That was the original French. That was the original French suits. Tarot cards uses the Italian suits. So those are swords, cups, wands. Also, some people
Pentacles.
refer to them as batons. And
Yep.
then some people call them coins or pentacles,
Coins.
either one.
Yep.
So most of in tarot today, most of those, each of those suits have a representation. So swords, thoughts or air, cups, emotions, and water, of course. Coins or pentacles, like material aspects, earth, batons and or wands, actions, fires, those types of things is kind of the sort of how we read them today, or can read them today. And then so it could be back in the day that they also represented some sort of classes in society. The aristocracy, the clergy, the merchants, the peasants, all of those. So that could have been also it.
Right.
Which is very interesting. So now the history of these is wild. So the earliest reference to tarot dates back to the 1440s or 1450s, which is so long ago. So
Right.
and then tarot eventually transferred into Europe, right through because it started like Italy, Venice, all of those
Right.
places, and came to Europe later into the 15th century. And of course, it was a card game played by many people, not just the
Aristocracy.
aristocracy,
Yes.
but
Sure.
merchants played it. All these people, right? Because on their long voyages beyond, they would play this card game, and they called it tarocchi or tarot. That's what it means in Italian, tarocchi, which is really interesting. So it's kind of like bridge, I think, or is a Trump taking game. So very interesting. It was kind of neat. And this is really cool. So currently the oldest known surviving tarot cards currently resides at the Victoria and Albert Museum in London. And they're
And there's 4.
and there's only 4, and they're from
Yeah.
the 15th century, which is
Right. I was
so
watching that.
cool. It is
Yeah.
so neat. We were in
They
London
have
a long
gold
time
leaf
ago,
on them.
and had we known that, had we
Oh.
known about any of this weird tarot stuff, right? We would have seen it, because we were actually at the Victoria and Albert Museum in London.
Oh.
Wow.
We didn't even see these cards because we didn't. Yeah,
There's like a million
it
other
was
things.
million
So
other
different.
things that we were, of course.
Right.
You could be there for weeks and not see everything.
Absolutely,
Right.
yes. But knowing that there's still 4 surviving cards from the 1400s is so cool. And of course, they were very beautiful, right? They were hand painted, all this sort of stuff.
Right.
It was just really, really neat. A lot of it was based on like carnival stuff. This new deck that I bought is really cool because it kind of, some of the stuff harkens back a little bit to like some of the carnival processions and things, right? And folklore, religion.
Can you
all
hold
of
up the
those things.
deck?
Yeah. So this is the new one. So here's the back of these cards. These are really pretty.
Ooh.
So
Wow.
these are the new ones. So there's the Fool.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're really a lot of it has to do with nature. I'm a big nature person. I think nature has a big involvement in spiritual practices. So yeah, these are really pretty cards.
They are.
They're very beautiful. And we have a hoi polloi deck, which is kind of a clone of the original Right deck, which is really cool.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Wright Smith. Yeah, so this is the original. They're called hoi
Right.
polloi from 1972. So
Nice.
these are really cool. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the back. They're all traditional. They're all the same. Those hoi polloi ones. This is a two of swords, like that. And really, it's, like we said, it started out as a card game, and it did not actually really become used in fortune telling into the 18th century. So it was the card game pretty much, right? And there was a self-proclaimed, what do they call it? Cartomancy. This French guy, Jean-Baptiste Allet, created the first deck specifically used for divination.
Oh,
Back in the 1770s.
Here
Which was kind
is
of
one of my
interesting.
right. This is a Rider Waite deck,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, you can see the magician and all that.
We can't really see them. There you go. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the classic.
Yeah, those are the classic.
Right.
Yeah, those are cool. But this guy used the French suits to teach people how to read cards. So they had the spades, the hearts, the diamonds, and the clubs back then. And then 1780s came, mysticism came. Then people started talking about the Egyptian origins of tarot, but it was never really proven. And then of course we get into the occult in the 19th century. And then it becomes huge. It's used as a divination tool. It gained popularity. Really famous French cultist in 1861, Alphonse Louis Constant, published a book called The Dogma and the Ritual of High Magic. And so he turned tarot from the fun fortune telling card game, all of that stuff, into it became esoteric and for serious occultists at that time.
Right.
Very interesting. You can still find actually I think there was a recent new translation of this book within the last 20 years. So very interesting. And he was actually the one that coined the term major and minor arcana, which was interesting.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, so in the 1770s, yeah. And then of course we get to right? We get to his cards.
Rider Waite, yeah.
Yeah, Rider Waite.
Pamela Coleman Smith, it was the lady that did all the artwork.
Yep. And it introduced tarot into England in the 1880s. That's when it kind of came about.
Right.
And so that's one of the most recognizable, of course, is that, right? So it's very interesting how that whole back in the 15th century is when it all started, which is so wild that it's been around so very long, It's really interesting.
There are some people that say tarot and oracle cards originated with the Chinese bazillions of years ago with the I Ching, whatever that stuff is.
Yeah.
Because they drew hexagrams or whatever.
Oh,
they would do stuff with those. I don't know what they would do.
Yeah. And I forgot, I was going to show. So we have the 22 major arcana,
Right.
which are ones like these. So these are the 22. Let me pull. There's that one. Yeah. So these are the 22. So we've got like the Fool, which is good. The Magician. These are really cool. And I'll show these on the other cards too. Some of these other ones, this one's really pretty. The Emperor, which is really neat.
Wow.
That one's really pretty.
That is.
The High Priestess, this one's really cool.
Wow.
The artwork on these cards is just phenomenal. The Lovers is really interesting card for this one. This is the Lovers. It's really,
Wow, that's cool.
really quite neat. Another really cool one. Let's see. Oh, here's the Death card for this one, which is really interesting.
Hmm.
So it brings a lot of
Wow.
nature into it, which is really,
Right.
really cool. The Devil is also really interesting in this one.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah. So those are the major arcana. Um, so major arcana, and then of course we have the 52 pip cards, right? We have the wands, and they're kind of broken down, and then we go, we get the ace through king. But these, and unlike regular cards, they've got page and a knight added as well. So these are the page and knight cards for the page and knight of wands, which is really pretty. These are cool.
Wow, those are so cool.
Yeah, they're really pretty. So
Where did you get those at?
I got them from, guess where?
Danny.
Yeah, I got them from their new storefront today.
Oh,
Oh,
this is my original Rider Waite deck.
Oh yeah, that's
nice.
cool. Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah.
So those are the major arcana, and this one's really cool too. So like here's in this 1972 version, like this is the moon.
nice.
The
Right.
the artwork is so, I don't know, there's something really neat about that old artwork of
Hmm.
Right.
tarot cards. It's so neat. Anyway, so yeah, the death card in this one, that's a traditional. I've seen that many times.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, tarot is just really fascinating, and of course, it's a hot topic with scientists, right?
Oh, yes.
Because scientists don't. I don't know what scientists don't do, but their brain doesn't work like my brain. So this makes more sense than anything else, which is weird.
Right.
But it's a hot topic, right? Just like astrology is a huge thing for scientists, right? They're like,
Funny
oh, those.
thing with the Oracle cards, therapists use them and also life coaches
Oh yeah,
Nice.
nice.
because this that one I was explaining
Oh yeah,
that's full of
Oh, yeah.
skulls and shit and all
yeah,
kinds of weird stuff.
that's cool.
Anyway, but yeah, because they think the therapists and whatnot think that you can tap into your self-conscious by looking at cards.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? Um, so using the tarot cards and oracle cards asks us to tap into our own intuitions.
Right.
And we all have the ability to tap into our intuitions. So anybody can read oracle and tarot cards. It's just a matter
And
of,
it's funny. It's funny that you bring that up. Because you have to practice, just like
yeah,
lifting weights or whatever. You have to do it on a regular basis. And the more I've done oracle card readings, the more accurate I have became, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's true, right? And in order to get better, we've kind of got to accept the fact that our wisdom with these cards comes from somewhere else,
Right.
whether that be uh, your higher self, God's,
Right.
the one universal consciousness, which is what makes the most sense to me, right? That whole idea that there's this thing called the Akashic records, where it's
Right.
records that have been kept forever, right? For all of everything. And our wisdom stems from the Akashic Library, where we are able to access that, or our subconscious is able to access that
Right.
in order to get this information that, we need, and that answers many questions that we may have. Like the idea of this is how it made sense to me. You ever get a ringing in your ear, and it's not really a ringing, like an
I have
audible
that all the
ringing?
time. It's
Yeah.
called tinnitus.
Well, that's a different thing. That's not what I'm saying, Mo.
Right.
I'm not saying it's an actual ringing in your ear.
Right.
I'm saying there's this moment where you have, oh my gosh. You ever have that moment where you're like, oh man, that's a download,
Right.
right? Could be. For me, it makes sense coming from maybe the Akashic records,
Right. But
something
with
that,
you, what you just said, like, oh, that's a download. Somebody that's not used to it and stuff, they're just gonna like, what the hell am I hearing?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And because you maybe subconsciously asked yourself a question and you're waiting for an answer, and one day you get this moment where you're like, oh man, that's a download. And then boom, you're like, oh snap, that makes total sense.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
That
Right.
happens to me on multiple occasions, right? So
Right.
we've kind of got to be willing to work at it, right?
Right.
Just like you said, it doesn't come overnight. You've got to practice, you got to work at it. And we got to trust that, our wisdom from the collective consciousness is there, and
And
you can
that's another thing too.
access it.
You have to, you're letting yourself go and just let things flow.
Yeah,
Don't try to analyze it. Shit.
yeah, right.
Just
So
let it go.
So,
Anyway, what
so
were you going to say, Leanne?
well, so I'm on that side. I'm like, I don't get it because I don't do it. I've never even looked at them. I don't even know. I mean, I've, obviously seen them, but not
Right.
seen them. So you have to work at it, you said, to become more accurate. How do you know you
Right.
weren't accurate before? Who's
You
how
don't.
you,
I
because you
think
get
it's
to
a
judge, you get to do your own, you get to read them, you get to interpret them. So how did you know that you weren't doing it right the first time?
it's a feeling that you get.
It's a great
Yeah.
question. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're in the zone, for lack of better terms, it everything's flowing through you, and I think you can tell that versus, I'm just playing cards.
Or reading the book.
Mhm.
Or reading the book. Yeah.
Right, right, right,
And a way for you to know to get better, right, is to do a reading, and then you can go back and look at
right,
what the book says, and you can know, right, if you're on the right track.
right.
I don't
Okay.
necessarily agree with looking for the book because that's one person's interpretation of the cards
Right, right.
versus your own interpretation of the card. It's
Well,
it's
yeah,
better to understand what I think each of those symbols mean. Like with the swords, we talk about, I don't remember what I said, earth, something like that. I had to look back at my
air, I
notes.
think.
Air.
So
So
swords
yeah,
is
like
thought.
swords, your thoughts, the air, right?
Yeah,
This openness about it. And then the cups, a lot of emotion. If you have the 10 of cups, right, you might have a lot of this emotional stuff happening in your life that doesn't quite make sense, right? Or, if you get like the pentacles, right, there's very earth, very grounded, right? If you get like a 10 of pentacles, maybe you're very grounded, something like that. You know what I mean? This is just a silly thing,
have
but
you tried a layout yet or a draw?
not yet. No,
I'd
not
be
yet.
So
curious to see.
I just have one other question because I'm such a virgin at all of this. This is just so cool. I'm just learning so much. My brain is going to explode. But so to practice these readings, do you just pick a topic like and go, okay, I want to do this because so for me, card reading is all circus act. You go into the tent and you go to the crystal ball and she does her thing,
Right.
and you come back out and voila.
Yeah, sure.
So
Right.
she has a purpose because she has a body in front of her that wants
Yeah.
some answers to some life changing questions. So like for Mo, like he does readings for us before we do investigations, and kind of gives us a general direction and what we think we're going to do for our investigation. Or for, we did the reading he did a reading for us to do this um, meeting tonight. But otherwise, how do you practice? How do you pick something to do a reading for?
So I think
Well,
that
first of all, I think. Oh, go ahead.
so I think that you can do it with huge decisions in mind. So say buying a house.
Mm-hmm.
You can do an initial card reading on, say, is this the right path for us in this moment? And you can do a card reading and intuitively with the cards that appear, right? You can get a sense of maybe this is not the right path, or yes, maybe this is the right path. And then you can do a reading, say you buy the house because you have a good feeling about it. And then you do another card reading after you buy the house and see what things line up, right? In that aspect. I think there was also something like I'm trying to remember, it was some skeptical person who didn't really understand, right, like the idea of this reading. And so they just had this reading done of, their whole life, the aspects of their life, like things that had happened. And a lot of the things that lined up in the reading was lined up with what was happening with the person's mother. You know what I mean? Those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of it could be big decisions, emotional decisions. Why am I feeling this feeling? What is happening? You know what I mean? All of those type of things.
And I think too, I think I've also heard or seen it done where you don't even necessarily have to have a big question, but maybe it's just like, let's just pull a card for today and let's see what
Right.
comes through. So maybe and again, maybe it's just random, maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
from spirit or from your higher self, but whatever comes through, maybe it's like, oh, okay. So,
And
Cool.
I'm going to throw this out there. I think, most people, I think a little bit of meditation before you do it helps too,
probably so.
It,
because it opens you up basically.
yeah. It,
And also to add on to what Nan just said, you don't have to do like a Celtic cross, like 10 cards and stuff. It could be
no.
a 1 card draw,
Yeah.
a 3 card
Three
draw, or
card.
whatever you're comfortable with at the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's really kind of anything is possible, Does that make sense, Leanne?
It
Yeah.
really does.
But I'm
It
also
does.
on team read the book. I look at the card and I'm like, I see a pink flower.
That would be me.
Yeah.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I need to be a little more spiritual. I'm not there. I want to get there. I think it would be very good for me. I'm just on the other side going,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
get it yet. But I'm not, I'm
everybody's
open
different.
to it. I just have
Right.
I just never had the opportunity. I've never had a reason
Right.
to do it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so then this is kind of the perfect segue into this. So we've got the cards, right? We talk about this tangible thing we can see in front of us. But what about visions? Like staring at something. Does this take us to the total next level of the whole like spiritual mind F that some of this stuff is? Right?
Right.
So, Nan, let me ask you about scrying. This is such a huge thing to talk about, and I know there's a lot involved in scrying. Just tell us about scrying and like what it is, the visual connections, all this stuff. There's so much to talk about.
Exactly.
So yeah, take us into the world of staring at something.
All right. Well, obviously we're not going to go crazy in depth here, but so scrying. So like what is it? So pretty much it's an attempt at communication or seeing visions or divining the future or summoning spirits through using the visual element. So that's essentially what it is when we're talking about it. Um Allegedly, it goes back again thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians were known to use bowls of water
Yep.
to try to communicate with deities. The ancient Greeks used polished obsidian to try to receive messages from the oracle.
Yes,
And
the Oracle of Delphi.
yep,
And
So cool.
they think she was hanging out on a vent that was spewing out sulfur or something that was whacking her out.
Something was going on. And then even kind of closer to us, the spiritualist movement in England, apparently a close advisor of Queen Elizabeth I, used scrying, a magic mirror, to try to communicate with angels for her. So that was some of the more known ones. So the word itself, scrying, it comes from the Old English word descry. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, which means to see or to reveal or something along those lines. But essentially, that's the essence of it. Um, but so typically, I mean, it kind of uses all of the elements, really. You could use smoke to scry. And that one has a fun name, which I have to write down. Capnomancy is
Oh, wow.
when you look into smoke, like usually from herbs or incense, to try to like look for
Wow.
patterns in the smoke and interpret those.
Mhm.
Um, Water is used, crystals, mirrors, flames. Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And of course, they all
Sorry.
have their general, there's variations in how you do it and the practices, but for the most part, it is you want to kind of, again, protect yourself, set those intentions, set those boundaries. You want to get yourself into that nice, relaxed, open-minded state. Some people even insist on like a trance-like state. And then you're going to be kind of staring prolonged into this object and kind of seeing what comes up. And I think I've been like through all the research I've done, it almost seems like it is less of I'm seeing actual physical things with my physical eyes in the object. But again, it's more of that inner seeing, that third eye. So again, it's almost like if you've ever done a past life regression, you're seeing it, but you're not seeing with your eyes. You're seeing it with your mind eye.
Your mind eye.
Your mind eye.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and again, and it almost reminds me going back to the last episode we did with the spirit box. You're not necessarily hearing like ghost voices coming through, but it's almost like that psychic connection, and you're kind of the conduit in between of these things. Um,
Now,
so
real
yeah,
quick,
so it.
man. Now,
Yeah.
I've heard when scrying, right,
Mm-hmm.
that you don't look directly into it. You look at a little, like at a corner, basically. Obviously, a round circle, you're not going to have a corner, but you're looking at a very small part. You're not looking directly at
Yeah.
in the middle of it.
Right. Well, and again, I think there's so many variations. Like there's some that I've seen where if you're scrying in a mirror, you would put a candle behind the mirror, or you'd only have moonlight and then you stare at a part. Or there's another one where you put a candle in front of the mirror as light and you stare at your own reflection. So I think all those little variances are different traditions, different beliefs, and
Yeah, we all scry because okay, Bloody Mary, right?
well, yeah, Bloody Mary,
And we all did that as kids.
right?
Nuh-uh.
Um, So now one thing to consider. So now if you're looking at kind of debunking or the criticisms of it, so there is a phenomenon called strange face illusion. So
Right,
pretty much there have been studies done that show that when you stare into a mirror in dim light for an extended period of time, your brain starts to distort the facial features that you're staring at.
right.
And so sometimes it causes that appearance of melting or looking monstrous, which sometimes is reported when you're scrying, you see your face distorted. Um, so essentially, it's like your brain's recognition features are misfiring and causing you to see those distorted images. So, but again, it's one of those things where like, and I think kind of going back to the when you guys mentioned with the tarot cards, there's a lot of scientific criticisms, and I think it has
Right,
to do with because a lot of the stuff you can't replicate it. It doesn't fall
right,
nicely under scientific method. But my personal belief is just because it's not scientific doesn't mean it's not real or legitimate. So I think
right.
I think it's good
Yep.
to keep it in mind and, have a nice balanced approach. But I think, again, just because science doesn't explain it doesn't mean we write it off.
Yeah.
Well, for instance, the pendulums, at 15th or 16th century, Galileo, he was monkeying with that for a clock. He dies, and it's some guy named Huygens. He's from the Netherlands. He develops it further and makes a clock.
Huh.
And we've all seen grandfather clocks with a pendulum,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And they knew how to do it. And it's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
But yeah. So, and then let's see what's another criticism. Also again, another criticism or thing to consider is when if you're scrying, if something is coming through to you, there could be a lot of subjectivity, based on, like, say if you're at a location that might be haunted or wherever, if you have your own biases toward that location, or maybe some history, how likely are you to interpret what you're seeing based on what you already know versus what is
Right.
actual new information, intuitive information coming to you? So again, I think it's things to consider. So maybe that's one of those things where if you're going to be doing scrying, maybe being neutral to the situation versus, and again, because if we're kind of looping it around to like even paranormal investigation, I've seen some stuff where people have used scrying on investigations to try to communicate with who's there. I don't remember the results from it, but yeah, I almost, again, if you're trying to keep it as scientific as possible, I would think having a neutral party come in to scry that doesn't know anything about it and
Right.
is something to consider.
By the way, Casey, you look very well when you were looking at Nan, you looked very Greek.
Did I?
Really?
Because of my
Yeah.
hair?
Yeah, I think it was yeah,
Wait.
yeah.
Is
You
that a
kinda
big?
do.
Wait a second. Is that a big nose joke?
No, no.
No,
Just kidding.
it must just be all of the curls and you look
Gotta be.
very, like if you just stood with, I don't know, something, you could be very.
With the toga.
With
Yes.
my
Okay, that might be on our next podcast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Check out these
Toga party.
What?
Toga party.
Right.
There's our next party.
Yeah,
Toga
and you burn
party.
your underwear at midnight. That was the rule. I used to throw toga parties way back when I was in Germany.
Gross.
Yeah, it
That's
was.
amazing. That's really cool. That scrying fascinates me. I mean, the whole divination aspect of, spiritual practice and, into paranormal investigating is just really fascinating.
Way back when we did Feldy Castle. Okay, as soon as you walked out of the people's kitchen or whatever, there was that mirror there. There was that little hallway
Mhm.
Yeah.
with and had the mirrors. Somebody was looking back at me. This is throughout the evening. I was like, who the hell is that?
Interesting.
But it was in a little bitty corner. It wasn't like in the middle of the mirror kind of thing.
Crazy. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So with all of this being said, we're getting through this divination deep dive. If you're finding this interesting, drop a comment below. Tell us your favorite divination if you used any of these. If you're having a good time, like the video, subscribe, turn on the bell, all of that jazz. You don't want to miss the next episode. Okay, so scrying can be intense. Scrying can be very intense, right? Staring at something for extended periods of time. Let's talk a little bit about a very, very hot topic that is the Ouija board. Real life actual spelling. We do that every day. Wow. Ouija board. I like to call it a Ouija.
Right?
So I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. Leanne, hit us with the Ouija board, please. Gee whiz.
Oh my gosh. So I don't actually own one. So Mo he actually has a couple of them, but he was nice enough to provide my prop. So I'm gonna do this and have him show us.
Vanna White it for us, Mo.
Yes,
Vanna
please.
White it. There you go. Yes, there it is. The Ouija.
Okay, so the Ouija boards for me are just it's just so fun. And I know that's probably not a good word to say, but I just think they're fun. The whole subject of it is so, because you've just got, again, along with everything else we've talked about tonight, the first, sorry, I have to use my notes because I don't remember well enough. The first mention, and they called it automatic writing, using a Ouija board, was found in China in 1100 AD. So
Wow.
another Chinese reference, and back to 1100 AD. Started way back in the day, using the planchette, which is the cute little, it's just so cute. I just love that that thing
That
right
little
there.
thingy. Planchette.
To move around the board. The board itself is, it has,
Bummer.
it's
hoping-
come from
hoping
being
planchette would be on
used
top
as
holding it.
as a source to talk to loved ones that had passed back in the United States, in Ohio, and it's at 1886, to visit with the loved ones from that have passed, and so it's gone from that, and then it morphed into a board game that Hasbro decided they just needed to make it a game. And so there were a lot of people who just grabbed those off the shelves and started using them and had no idea what they could possibly have been doing while they were just playing a game. So
that's why we're here. See?
It's
Yeah.
Things
not
happen for
a
a reason.
game.
yeah. So it isn't a game. You have to be very careful with it. I know that as a kid, everybody wanted to do seances in high school. I'm sure that I don't know if there's anybody who hasn't tried the Ouija board, not knowing, and guilty. I don't never even thought about anything evil or satanic coming out of that board, but it has been the source of many good films, and so they actually do show you what those boards can do, even though it's just a movie. I know that we personally, as a team, you guys are great at wanting to do all of these things and learn about all of this, and so we have used the Ouija board, but to preface that, I am not the knowledgeable one, but these folks are, and they know how to put the protections in place for us to be able to use the board and then know what we needed to do with it. We needed to say some special things along the way, and then we needed to close the session, and we needed to make sure that everything was done correctly. We're not just willy-nilly and just hope that, and I'm sure there are people out there who intentionally are trying to get the board to work. The board is actually, it just has, it's used to basically, you can use it. It has the word yes and the word no on it. So you can use the planchette, and then you can ask questions, and you can go with just yes or no. But there is the alphabet on there, so it can spell out things as well. So you can ask it a lot of things. Again, not different than anything else you guys have talked about. The scientists want to poo-poo it because they believe that you're involuntarily moving the planchette, and that you are
by your ideomotor
subconsciously.
reflexes.
Yeah, that you're just making it do what you want it to do. So what I thought was very interesting, and I don't know if everybody does this, but I know when we did it, we had two people with their fingers on the planchette at the same time.
Yes.
So for me, that was a little more convincing because you have to have both of your bodies doing the exact same thing and thinking the exact same thing at the exact same time. I thought, one person I could see that maybe you could influence it by yourself, but to have two people with their fingers on the planchette moving it, I don't know.
Especially if
I
it's
did
going
it
to
and we
letters.
had it moving, and we were not pushing it. I don't know what to say.
Say that again, man.
Especially if it's going to letters. Like if it's going to the yes or the no, there's a 50% chance that maybe you guys guessed at the same one. But when it's like the same letters, it's like, oh, what
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
When you ask for a name and
Mhm.
one
And spelling
one
it.
person's thinking Bob and another person's thinking Ann.
Yeah. And one of the coolest things that I've seen, not that I'm saying Ouija board is a cool thing to use all the time. Let me preface that. One of the coolest things I've seen is that somebody replaced the planchette within the
Oh,
Ouija board and used an actual shot glass.
Shot glass.
And
we did that too.
that way,
Yeah.
it's
With my
extremely
spirit board.
difficult for you to move on your own. That planchette
Yeah,
slides
because you
around
can
very
only put
easy.
one finger on that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So-
We did that as well. And
Yeah.
we had really good sessions. We did a couple times and it again, we had we did it in the correct order of importance where you protect yourself first, you can do your thing, and then we closed the session, and you have to do that to make sure that everything was good.
And I think that's where the danger comes in. People who play with the Ouija boards, number one, don't know how to protect themselves.
And they
And
just
number
go
two,
willy-nilly.
they don't know how to close out a Ouija board session because if you don't
Right.
close it out, it leaves everything wide open. So
Right.
anything
And
can
I-
happen.
And I
Even if
didn't
you let
know
go
that.
and put it away.
Yeah.
Yep, I didn't know that until we did that, and then because you guys knew that, you said no. You have to close the session, and you have to
Yeah.
close it out. And we did multiple sessions in an evening. We talked to different people throughout the night, but we closed a session and then we would start a new one, and we were talking to somebody different. It was very cool, and I think it's a great tool to use. I mean, I don't think it's something that you'd pull to every investigation and try to use it. We have so many other tools in our bags that it's not something you would do, but it was very interesting just doing it and having conversations with people. And then
Where it'd be cool, we haven't whipped it out yet, at the Adams house.
we should do it there.
We should do it there.
That would be a good place to do it.
I don't know.
I
I think the thing is, I think people are, I think that's the one people are most uncomfortable with.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I have to tell you this little snippet because I just thought it was interesting. It was funny because so Charles Kennard claims to have invented the board with his business partner Elijah Bond, and
Right.
who patented it with the help from his sister-in-law, spiritualist and medium Helen Peters Nosworthy. But the local patent office first refused to patent it. So Bond and Nosworthy, they went to Washington, D.C., where it says that they were also denied the patent until the chief patent officer asked the board to spell out his name, which it allegedly did. So,
Yeah.
so they proved the patent for him.
Yeah.
I just thought that was just fun.
Wow, that's
I was
cool.
like, okay, well, convinced him, I guess. Yeah, that would work. So that was just kind of a fun little thing. Religious bodies do not particularly care for it. They've actually forbid it to be used.
Right.
It's scary. It is kind of a scary tool. I called it fun, but I just think the whole the whole process of it is kind of fun and very, very
Esoteric.
yeah.
Mhm.
It just was, I thought it was a cool,
Yeah.
cool device.
But everything that we're talking about, Ouija boards, pendulums, cards, scrying, they're all forms of divination. No, and it's no different when you're using a Ouija board than a pendulum with a spell your name, and you have a round circle with alphabets on it and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, and honestly, it doesn't for me, all of these devices and tools that we have, we do the exact same thing with our recorders. We do.
Right.
I mean, all of the tools that we use, the end game is to find out who you're talking to, and to see if there's really somebody there. So
We're modern day necromancers, is what we are.
Right.
mhm. So yeah, I my brain's just exploding. I'm telling you, I'm learning so much.
It's amazing. And of course, it has so much potential for high risk.
Right.
I mean, I've heard stories of people not using Ouija boards correctly, and they get into these fluke accidents that are life-changing. It's something that I personally don't mess around with just to mess around with it, because
Right.
just to me, it just is not worth that. Now, if I'm with a group of people who know what they're doing, know how to open and close a session,
And have that safe
and have this safe space, it's a little different. I wouldn't go to some random abandoned house and do a Ouija board session and then walk
Like we found
away.
like we found that broken one in Spokane
Yeah,
Mhm.
that
in
was
that
sketchy.
house.
Well,
And I didn't
And
touch it.
Leanne wanted to bring it home.
I know. I didn't touch it.
no, we
Nope.
left it.
We left
We
it there.
left it.
So it's not a
what's
board game.
it is not, but what's funny too is it's when it's all said and done, when we are using it, we don't have bad intentions. We're not
Yeah.
we didn't open a session hoping that we were going to get all these bad spirits coming through, and we didn't want to. We weren't looking for evil. We weren't looking for. We weren't looking to be scared out of our minds, I guess.
Yeah.
Basically is what I'm
Right.
saying.
Right.
We
Yeah,
had
and
we had intentions to talk to somebody, but
Yeah.
but it wasn't evil. I
And-
think when you go
Right.
into it in the other side as well, and you have those other intentions, you're probably going to get what you asked for.
Asked for.
And tagging on to what Leanne said, we actually set the intention of nothing evil is allowed to break this barrier. Like nothing dark
Right.
is allowed to break this barrier. We are
Right.
interested in talking to angelic spirits or those that have crossed on. You know what I mean? That was the intention set.
We were lucky
Yep.
too.
And
that we
also,
had
but
someone. Oh,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. Oh, I was gonna say, and we were lucky too that we had someone that was really sensitive. That when they sense like something negative coming through, they're like, "We're done." Versus,
Yep.
if you're not aware of that, you have this door open, and who knows what could come through.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm going to the YouTube videos of Ouija boards. People ask, "Are you a good spirit? Are you an evil one?" First of all, if you're evil, you're not going to tell anybody.
Yeah. That's what they do.
It's like, are you kidding me?
Of
Yeah.
course they're going to tell you they're a good spirit. I mean,
Yes.
I promise.
And they're always young, and they got in a car wreck.
yeah.
Oh,
That's what they do. That is how they use. So like we said, it's not a board game created by Hasbro. Please don't take it as a board game. It is a serious, I mean, there can be some serious consequences and some serious cans of worms opened.
Right.
if
And
do
you can
that.
make a Ouija board. You don't have to go out and spend money. You can make one out of a cup and like cut out letters.
Mm-hmm.
but don't do that.
I
Right.
do find interesting though that I just have to, ask, discuss with you guys or maybe put it out to whoever's watching. Like it almost seems like again, now looking from the perspective of like the entity release community, it almost seems like when people have had bad things happen, a lot of the time, I'm not going to say all the time, a lot of the time it was connected to a Ouija board. And like we said, it's how different is it really from pendulums or tarot cards or scrying? But do you think it's a matter of these people just aren't having trouble from these forms, or is there something unique about the board or that method itself that seems to maybe be a little bit more problematic?
Well, I think is because a Ouija board you could buy it at any kind of
Yes,
chain store.
So it's the
exactly.
accessibility of it.
Pendulums,
Yep.
cards, and stuff. You have to go to specific places to find those.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I
And-
It's
agree.
and your
highly
general-
accessible.
Right.
And it's-
And John
and
Q.
it's-
Public is not going to go there.
It's
They're
very
going to go to the big
commercialized.
box. Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus, I
it's
suppose, yeah,
they're
if you were
throwing it
going
out
for,
there.
yeah, if you're looking for oracle cards, you're probably going to have a clue of what you're looking for and
Right.
be a little bit more educated.
Yeah, because the people who are looking for pendulums, oracle cards, tarot cards, all have a knowledge
Scrying
of what
mirrors.
they're
Yeah.
doing,
Right.
versus somebody can go to Walmart and buy a Ouija board who has no
Yes.
clue
Right.
what's the Ouija board is possible.
And
They
it's
think
a
it's just some sort of
birthday party
game.
game.
Yeah.
Right.
But hey,
There you go.
Ouija.
Does it
Yeah.
have any warnings on it?
Yeah, it says 8+, 8 years old plus.
Oh,
And it's
that's
called the
good.
Myst-
Let's get
yeah,
those
the
8-year-olds in
Mystifying
there.
Oracle. Yeah,
It-
and it's made for 2+ more players.
Yeah. Yeah, you could get a lot more.
That's insane.
Yeah,
That's insane to me. So we don't condone using a Ouija board without the proper knowledge and proper safety, because it is huge that, the consequences could be drastic. And I know
and
it sounds silly,
also,
but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you should use one if you're just you're using one just to use it. Whatever can come in.
Yeah.
That's not the way.
No.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're supposed to be used with a purpose,
Mhm.
Right.
and safely used and opened and closed, because a Ouija board very simply could open a huge portal somewhere you're at, and it could just be
Right.
yeah. So yeah,
And
Then
like
you
we
have to
talked
call
about,
people
if there's a
like us.
portal that's open, sometimes it's just like on Hocus Pocus that they open the book and the light goes up and they all go,
That's
"Woo,
right.
let's go."
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a really good example of
Exactly.
what happens when you use a Ouija board. They're like, sweet, a beacon, let's go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is awesome. All of this stuff is awesome. This whole talk of these divination tools and their purposes and how long they've been around. I mean, pendulums, oracle cards, tarot cards, Ouija boards, scry. I mean, it's just all been around for so long, and it's just something that I now have a bigger appreciation for because it's been
Right.
around for so long.
Mhm.
Well, and
No.
also you look at it like, is it part of the human condition or is it just the thing? And all this stuff has been around for so many years. I would have to assume it's part of the human condition.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with that. And over time we've been slowly programmed to get rid of these things, like our
Right.
intuition and
Mhm.
all this
Right.
stuff. When our intuition and all this stuff has been a part of the human condition for centuries,
Right.
And so it's just really
Well, that's like
interesting.
when people say they're caveman brain. That's your intuition.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly right. Yeah. There's
When Mo
really
walks into a
wonderful.
room and he says, I'm not going in there. I'm going all the way. I
Yeah,
just follow
That's
him.
an intuition. Yeah. So here's something for you, Leanne. This just came to my mind. There's a really great deck of cards called Zener cards. And it's for those that want to practice their intuition, right? And practice with kind of reading and getting a sense of maybe what it might be. So basically what it is, it's a deck of cards. It's got circles, it's got squares, triangles, and lines, those types of things. And basically what it is you shuffle the cards, you hold a card, right? Get a sense of what that card might be and say square. You turn it over, not a square, right? And so it's just this practicing of getting that sort of intuition and that feeling of what this might be. And a way I have a deck, and the way that I like to use it is put the card face down on my palm and do
Yep.
this, and put it in between my hands and close my eyes, because
Mhm.
a lot of things, these are the palms of our hands are made for a reason, right? Touch is a
Mhm.
huge thing, and there's a lot of energy that is exchanged in our fingertips specifically.
Mhm.
And so if you do it this way, that can help practice that sort of, uh, that intuition and figuring out, you know what I mean, the whatever might be on that card. So
I'm
there's,
gonna
Right.
do
And
it.
then when you get good, hold your hand about an inch,
yep,
and then don't put it, just lay it face down.
lay it
Don't
face
put your
down on the
hands near it.
table. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you'll get, and it just takes practice every day. It just those things, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
used to do it sitting there. We would watch TV, and during commercial break, I would do it during commercial break,
Oh, yeah.
just to just to get that practice. So and they're really neat cars. It's just kind of a fun thing to practice. So by
I'm gonna
yourself.
do it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do
Zener
it.
cards, Zener.
All right, I'm doing it.
Yeah. So
Thank
anyway,
you.
this has been exciting. Anything else anybody wants to add about what we talked about tonight?
I don't
So
think so.
fascinating. Everybody did so
Yes.
amazing. And I learned scrying is fast. Now I'm gonna have to go
My
try
gosh.
more scrying.
I know. So,
Right?
oh, can I
We
can
got
I
to get
just
a
tell you one
scrying mirror.
thing? So, and I don't know. So it was I was watching Kindred Spirits today, and
Okay.
I do like to watch them. Um, but they were using, so the show was, there was a mirror that was purchased and put into this building that was now a museum, of course, and it was put in the basement.
Right.
But along with the mirror came somebody, and so they needed to find who this negative person was that had come along with this mirror. And they pulled in, two people that they work with, and that's exactly what they did. They put the mirror in front. They took the girls and they set them into chairs. They lit a candle and actually put it behind the girls,
Right.
and then the girls, looked at the mirror. Well, um, Amy, of course, knew the history of, because they'd done the research, but the couple that came to help them, that gal did not know what it was. They both saw a figure in the mirror, and she identified, the other gal identified him as the person who the mirror belonged to.
Wow.
And Amy saw the same face, but that other gal didn't know that that's who it was until so. But it was very interesting, because then again, I watched it today, and then that's what it's trying to, the world is, the universe is trying to tell me something today, because all of
And
this stuff is just falling all over itself and moshing right on my head.
and that's the things that we need to notice. We're
Yes.
so programmed to not notice these things because we talk about coincidences. I personally don't believe in coincidences. Everything is put in a
Nope.
path for a specific reason. So maybe it's time to practice some of that stuff. See?
I think, yeah,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
very
I'm
interesting.
in. I'm in.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And scrying with a mirrors freak me out anyway because I know they're gateways
Right.
to so many portals.
They're squirrely
Yeah,
enough.
I like flame. Doing a can I do scrying. It's staring at a wood stove. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
Watching the base of the fire. That is one of the perfect places to do that. Uh,
Mhm.
a clear crystal ball is really good. We have some, clear balls is good. Um,
The only kind of thing that's unfortunate now, if you're again looping back to being on an investigation and you wanted to pull some of this out, I mean, most of the time you can't put smoke in somebody's location because someone's
Right.
allergic or you could destroy things. Fire,
Right.
I mean, it's dark. We've got crap everywhere.
Right.
I do not want open flame. That sounds like a hot mess. So it's
Right.
almost like mirrors are kind of the most and I mean, again, who wants to like schlep around a bowl of water in the
Oh, right.
dark?
Right.
Right.
So, and again, a crystal ball, you're not really going to see much. So mirrors are almost the most practical, but on the same note, mirrors are like, they're the problem child too, because they, there's always issues with mirrors and we're always, mindful of mirrors. So it's one of those, I
Right.
think scrying, like again, with everything, scrying should be really approached with that same caution and mindfulness as
Yep.
like a Ouija board. Cause
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Don't just go play Bloody Mary or whatever into a mirror and ask someone to come through because you never know who might come through.
The
Right.
the most interesting words that have stuck with me tonight are cartomancy with the talk about cards and
Right.
capnomancy with the smoke scrying. Those are
Yes.
man, those are cool. They sound like spooky. I'm a
You know,
I'm a capnomancer.
don't
Look
you just
out
want
to
to get a
stare at
shirt
the
with that
smoke.
on it? I want a shirt. I think that'd be cool. We should get shirts.
We should get BHPI shirts that say I'm a capnomancy.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to try to say this word. Pendulum divination, also known as dowsing or radesthesia.
Huh?
RAD
What did you call me?
RADIESTHESIA.
Huh.
Hmm.
That's
Oh,
why
yeah.
I just call it pendulum dowsing. That's forget
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting. I was like, wait, what did you call me? Awesome. Well, we hope you all enjoyed this wild, weird episode of Divination. This was really fun to dive into. Hit the like, subscribe if you enjoyed this. Hit that button if you didn't enjoy this. Hit that button. Because you don't want to miss the next episode. We're going to do another one. Also, drop in the comments maybe some divination experience that you've had. And again, we hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for being with us and happy investigating.